Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the BFS Fishing Channel. And in this video, we've got another reel to look at. And this one claims to claim the title of the new world's lightest production BFS reel. So let's go ahead and open this up and get into it and take a look at some of the interesting characteristics or features that this reel has. So this reel is called the Histar Aurora Air. The claim to fame of this one is that it comes in at 115 grams. So we'll go ahead and get measurements on that. But also, they claim that this reel can cast down to 0.4 gram lures. So those are two things that I want to check and verify. But also the braking system on this reel is supposed to be pretty interesting and unique. So let's go ahead and go over some of the stats, and we've got them right here. So this is the Aurora Air. The gear ratio is going to be an 8.1 to 1. IPT or CMPT is about 75 reported. We'll go ahead and kind of confirm that and get our own more accurate, but not the most accurate measurements. They claim a drag rating of 4 kilograms. 115 gram all-up weight. Capacity, they're saying 0.12, so about 0.6 go is going to get you about 190 meters. That's quite a bit. 0.8 go, they're saying 140 meters, and then 1 go, 110 meters. All right, let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at what we've got in the box. So pretty plain package on the inside, nothing special at all. The box itself looks fairly nice. You guys wanted to see, just in case. There is a document provided, which I've been told is not a schematic, and that's kind of saddening to see. It's just a generic, how-to guide on how to use your fishing equipment, which we don't need that. And then the reel itself. All right, so here it is. Let me just give you guys some beauty shots. Maybe I'll do a rotation video or a rotation beauty shot at some point. Okay, so some things I'm noticing right off the bat. The reel is very light and it does feel a little bit on the cheap side because of that. I'm not the biggest fan of this new trend to kind of go down to the lightest weight reel in the world. I'd rather have a reel that's got better build quality, better build materials, and isn't going to be like flimsy like the Sembo Air. But okay, so the knobs are kind of like a thinner TPE, and I actually don't mind them right off the bat. These are the first ones that are not that pencil style. Doesn't look like they are bearings, most likely. All right, let's go over some more stats. So this reel actually has 6+1 ball bearings, so a very low count. So if you're looking to do some salt BFS, this might actually be a decent reel. And then the reel has 2 salt-resistant bearings on the spool and a very, very unique braking system. But let's get some weights first. All right, so the all-up weight, we're going to do that first. And mine comes in at 114.5 grams, so they are accurate to their weight reporting. Here's the brake system, and then here's the spool, which I don't know if you guys can see that at all, but if you look, there's a ton of grease on that spool pin. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that up so that kind of helping them with their weight reporting on the spool. But also, I don't really like to see that much grease on my reels. Okay, so they claim that their spool is going to be a 4.4 gram spool, and I'm not sure if that's with the spool bearing or not. But it looks like this is coming in at 4.38, so they are accurate with their spool weight. And that's very impressive. Let me get some other measurements. The spool diameter is coming in at 27.86. So this is a 28 millimeter spool, which is good to see. I like that diameter for BFS. And their inner diameter is a 22.19. So we'll go ahead and count that as like a 22. And then somebody else out there wanted the width on spools. So we're going to go ahead and get that. And that's a 22.82. So we'll call that a 23. So I'll have those measurements up on the screen for you. The reel itself, let me see. Let me get some sounds for you guys. Here's the retrieve. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but here, I'll bring the reel closer to the mic. So it does sound like something is kind of moving around in there. Maybe bearings need to be kind of worn in a bit. The star drag was super tight there. Okay, here. That's the drag clicker itself, and here's the star drag. And the star drag, it does have kind of a weaker spring, and so it kind of moves around in there. But you know, that's not a performance affecting issue. The spool tension does not click, which I like. The drag clicker feels a little bit grabby right now. And let me go ahead and open up the brake system itself. Okay, so I'm going to interrupt my video coming from the future to explain the brake system a little bit more concisely and talk about some of the findings that I've seen with this reel. But the brake system on the Histar Aurora works as follows, and I hope you guys can see. So there are actually 3 different brake shoes. There is 1, 2, and 3. And what the numbers on this front dial, which you adjust to 1, 2, 3, 4 different settings, what it means is the number of brake shoes that are arrested or do not move. So on 0, it means that all 3 brake shoes actually cam out like this. And they kind of do have a little bit of a camming action. They kind of rotate backwards. Counterclockwise, and all 3 rotate on this setting. And then if you go to 1, then one of them is going to be arrested, and that's not 1, this not 1, it's this one right here. This one does not cam out. So as you increase the number, you actually freeze more brake shoes. In my findings, I feel like this setting where all of the brake shoes are fully static is actually the furthest casting and the most comfortable for me. As I started using more and more of the brake shoes in their dynamic positions, I found that I had to really adjust and change the brake setting. There are some things that I've noticed about the reel that I don't quite like, and one of them is going to be a line lay issue. My worm shaft itself, I think, is actually shifted over towards the handle a little bit, causing line to build up on the handle side. Right now it looks okay, but when I first initially spooled up the reel, it was building up on the handle side. And so I think the only fix right now for that is to adjust some shims with the worm shaft itself. But yeah, another issue is I'm finding more and more that I really don't like these brake dials that are made out of kind of the carbon fiber material. If you look, it's a very similar style to the Dark Wolf Ultra and Solar King Acura. It just doesn't give you much in terms of brake dial resolution, and you can see that there's a lot of slop in there, and there's no like in-between position between those two. So I really don't kind of like that, and I prefer... I think if you give me a choice between a Shimano Aldebaran style, which is also a real pain in the butt to kind of move, but it doesn't have clicking settings, I would choose a non-clicking brake dial over a clicking brake dial. Precisely for the reason that, you know, when you go there, you're kind of jumping to the next step. The other thing is that I have experienced some issues with line loops kind of getting in between the spool and the frame of the reel. They haven't caused any backlashes yet, but I have experienced it a couple times where a loop will kind of find its way in between, and then the retrieve will kind of get a little, you'll feel it in there. It'll get a little rough. The other thing is that there is quite a bit of tolerance in the handle, in the knobs themselves. Both knobs have a little bit, and then the handle shaft, or the main gear shaft, actually has a little bit of in and out play. And then there's also kind of this rotational slop as well in the handle and the frame. So all of that combined just kind of makes for a very not smooth feeling retrieve. Although I will say that since I first got this reel out, that the retrieve has slowly become a little bit better. And I'm wondering if that's because the two spool bearings, which have some special saltwater resistant grease in there, that grease is kind of loosening up and kind of working its way throughout the bearings evenly. But yeah, not a very good first impression, but I did talk to Histar, and they did say that they would go back and talk to their engineer and kind of work on fixing some of these issues, and then implementing a better version of the reel, I guess, sometime in the future. So I don't have any further information other than that, but hopefully they will work on it and they will get a fix out, and they will improve the reel. Anyways, okay, back to the video. We'll go ahead and close the side plate, get a free spool. So not the longest free spool in the world, but yeah, nevertheless, a very interesting braking system. I think it's going to be kind of a little bit of a headache to deal with. And the brakes do work well. They're quite strong. The brake dial goes to about a setting of 5. And it's hard to say. Okay, so here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 clicks in between each full brake setting. And then does the handle flex? It does a little bit. The knobs feel like they're just covers, but they don't look like they are. And yeah, it's a very small reel designed from Histar lightweight design. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this reel so far, but I do want to test out their claim that they can cast a 0.4 gram lure on this reel. If you guys have any questions about it, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Check that out. TBS, Turner Broadcasting System. No, just kidding. It's a turbo brake system on there. It's got this like matte cover, which I don't know if it'll be like a fingerprint magnet or oil magnet at all in the future. They did go with this kind of metallic gunmetal paint finish, which does have, I think, a clear coat on there, but yeah, not sure. Yeah, excited to get this out on the water and test it out and see what it can do. Anyways, if you guys have any questions about this reel, please go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you did not like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.